And welcome back to Lantern Corp. Finally pre-recorded every one of my videos for the videos I had to do today, and the videos tomorrow are pre-recorded, so I am good. Well, tomorrow is today in this case. It's Monday at the moment. But this came from Nicholas Nick Thompson, who asked the question, what is Yoshi's Lantern Corp? I was about to say Pokemon Team. That's a different video, which I'm sure one day I'll do. And this, I had to check Yoshi's personality, what he kind of brings to the table, all that. And yeah, actually, Yoshi kind of has a couple of solid options here when we're talking about Lantern Corps. Now, or I keep saying Corps, but it is actually Corps. Lantern Corps. Now, with that said, let's actually just get Yoshi out of the way right now in terms of ones he's not going to qualify. Yoshi apparently is a very positive, very happy, very upbeat dinosaur that loves and cares for his friends deeply, has a massive amount of both courage and compassion, and is often the leader of the Yoshi clan. He will not hesitate to stand up against tougher foes just to protect someone that he cares for, and obviously babysat Baby Mario for that entire game. So you know what game I'm talking about, folks. So, what Lantern Corp fits a character like this? Well, I think there's, roughly speaking, 4 options that we can look at. Let's get the ones, though, that I know for a fact he's not qualifying for out of the way. There's no way on God's green earth, on Yoshi's green hide, that he is a Black Lantern of death. There's just no way that's happening. Yeah, sure, he's probably had to kill characters in the game, but everyone kills characters. You have to either be dead, have died, or pretty much either be the embodiment of or worship death to be a Black Lantern. Yoshi, not a qualifier. That said, I also don't really think he's a very good candidate for a White Lantern. Not to say that he's not alive. Obviously, he's alive. And not to say he's not a lively individual and lives his life as best he can to its fullest. It just doesn't strike me as a fit for his character. He's not someone who necessarily nurtures life. He protects, sure, but a lot of people protect. And because he's technically had to take life, be it with minions or whatever, it does kind of disbar a little bit. Although that's not necessarily what's the term I'm looking for? That's not to say that would be a non-start. Because characters who have taken lives before can be White Lanterns. You just really can't take life while you're a White Lantern. That just kind of goes against the whole idea of being the embodiment of life. Taking life does that. Regardless, so I don't think he's either a white or a black. I also don't think he's a ultraviolet. He's not a Lantern of Shame. I don't think Yoshi really carries much shame with him. But I also don't really see him as a beacon of hope. Despite being a leader, I don't know if I really consider him a beacon of hope. The hope one is possible, but I didn't include it in here because hope is basically faith. People can have faith in you, and you can inspire great hope, or you can hold on to hope. At one point, Blue Lantern Ring once tried to go after the Flash because he was both a beacon of hope and was one of those characters that did actually carry a lot of hope in him. Ultimately, he outsped the Ring, but he's... I suppose Yoshi could be a qualifier. I think there are better options out there. He's also not a greedy character. He's not a Lantern of Greed. So that's a non-start. I think first let's just get on with it and talk about 2 of the ones. Then we'll go over the other 2 I don't think he qualifies for. Green, I think you have to overcome great fear, and facing off against characters like Bowser, Wario, whatever, and being described as very courageous is tantamount to being a Green Lantern. That's exactly what it would be required for being a Green Lantern. So Yoshi could probably make a very good Green Lantern. However, he could also make a very good Lantern of Compassion. Now, I always get some, well, not always, but every now and once in a while, I do see people commenting about how the Indigo Lantern Rings work, about how they actually look for people without compassion. And that's not entirely true. 1 second. Indigo Lanterns. Oh, Indigo Lantern Corps. Lantern Ring. So, teleported, blah, 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 yeah. So, well, they are basically, they're a parasitic ring, first off. They do search out for specific people, generally speaking. They do override your personality, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they only will go after you if you don't have compassion. It's still a lantern ring created for for a specific emotional spectrum. So it will still, yeah. Indigo is a color farthest from the center. It represents the emotion of compassion. Indigo light can be wielded by one with great compassion for other beings. It can manipulate other energies for the emotional spectrum. The indigo light is wielded by indigo leader of the indigo tribe. Now, that being said, it will also basically wipe the slate of your personality. I'm not going to argue that at all. It does also go for like killers and stuff like that, and basically instill compassion. But yes, it does go for individuals with great compassion as well. And Yoshi is described as being very compassionate indeed, being a leader and carer for his tribe, his people, his friends. So Indigo Ring would also be a very good fit. A ring that would not be a very good fit is the Lantern Ring of Rage. Though seeing Yoshi as a Rage Lantern would be hilarious. It's just not, Yoshi sure can get angry like anyone else could, but that doesn't, just because you can get angry does not make you a qualifier for a Rage Lantern. That needs to be the core of your emotional center. John Bernthal's Punisher, or just Punisher in general, that's a Rage Lantern right there. A guy who lost his kids, who lost his family, and who ultimately is just seeking revenge and is never going to be satisfied for that. That's a Rage Lantern. Yoshi, not. Yoshi's also not a Yellow Lantern, though. He does not really inspire, despite the fact he can do some crazy stuff, he does not inspire great fear. He is not Batman. He is not the Scarecrow or some guy with a Apocalypse. I'm just naming characters off here. Omni-Man, Homelander. Those are characters that can inspire great fear very easily. Yoshi, not so much. However, the other Lantern cores that could work would be the Star Sapphires, the Lantern core of love. Yoshi has great love for his friends and family and his tribe. I mean, that's why he does what he does. It's not simply compassion. He loves those guys. So you could make an argument that everything he does is just motivated by love. But there is one other Lantern core to talk about. And that is the Lantern core of the Gold Lanterns. Lanterns of happiness, of positivity, happiness, and eternal positivity. So they're a relatively new group, and there's not a lot to know about them. What we do know is that the Lantern Corps' emotional spectrum lies within happiness, positive emotions. Now, I, for the longest time, always did say whoever is a Gold Lantern, and it's not a many I have brought in. Whoever a Gold Lantern has to have always been happy and has to stay happy. Well, that turns out not to quite be the case. It's important that they remain positive, upbeat, and happy, that they have a positive outlook on everything. But that doesn't necessarily mean you've always had to have been it. It turns out you just need to maintain that. The character who was a Gold Lantern that they showed off in the comics, one second here, what was his name? Gold Lantern Corps. Where is that character? One second. Not Gray Lanterns, which are not a thing, by the way. Because when looking at Gold Lanterns, I found Gray Lanterns. I'm like, is that a thing? And I read the story, I'm like, this maybe is a thing. It sounds kind of like it could be a thing. And then I'm like, wait, I can't find any comic images of this. This is probably fan-made. But no, Kala-Lor? From post-rebirth DC from a different dimension, and he's part of the Legion of Superheroes. He's part of the Legion of Superheroes. He was blind. He's blind, but he still has a positive outlook on life, and that's ultimately why he was able to become a Gold Lantern of happiness and positivity. And Yoshi would definitely be he never seems that. I mean, yeah, he gets down sometimes, but he never seems not upbeat in some way. So, I guess the question is, of all four of these, what is a good candidate for what is the best likely candidate? What is the likely candidate for the Lantern Corps in which Yoshi belongs to? Because I think all of these have a strong possibility between happiness, love, compassion, and will. I mean, all these are very possible. I think if we are to eliminate any of these out of the equation, I would probably actually get rid of Will first. The reason for that is while he's very courageous and all that, I think his motivation stems from some other place, be it either his compassion, his love, or his positive outlook. That's not to say he couldn't. I think honestly he could qualify for any 4 of these. We're looking for the most likely one. I think Green actually falls out of that, out of the running. After that, and I'm doing this on the fly right now, trying to figure out. I didn't actually stop and think. Wait, maybe I should narrow it down. I think you got to get rid of compassion next, because I think his compassion comes from his love of his friends and family. Is like his kinsmen. So I think by that logic, you actually have to bump compassion down, because that's really just coming from love. So that question then becomes, is it love or is it happiness? Positivity. I would honestly say he strikes me a bit more like a lantern of gold than a lantern of sapphire. I think it's just the fact that he's always so bubbly, happy, chipper, and positive. I think just kind of overrides the fact that that comes from love. And I think overall. So Yoshi is, I think, maybe only the 3rd character I've ever given a gold lantern ring to. So yeah, Yoshi, the gold lantern. Which apparently are pretty powerful, by the way. They're not white lantern powerful, but they're like 2nd down the list, I think, or 3rd. They're like in the top 3 most powerful lanterns. So yeah, I think Yoshi would actually be a gold lantern. But what do you think? Would you go gold? Would you go green? Would you go compassion, love, maybe hope? There's an argument to be made there. Or could you actually make an argument for make an argument? I dare you for Black Lantern. I dare you make an argument for, no, better yet, make an argument for Shame. Make an argument for, he's ashamed he had to carry that little shit baby Mario through that game. Anyway, no, I think the Death Note would be the hardest one to make an argument for, because I can at least see people making an argument for Greed, where he just consumes stuff and then spits it back out and never satisfied. I can at least see the vague argument there, but make the argument for Death. I dare you. But anyway, I digress. So Gold Lantern's my pick. What would you pick out of the lineup? Let me know in the comments below. But until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you folks next time.